Hi everybody, Ben here from Art Less Ordinary. So, I have moved into my new art room, which I haven't completely finished, but for now, this is how it is set up. So, today we are going to do a pearl pour, but I'm going to do it on this framed canvas. So, it's just a cheap one for the moment because I just want to see how it looks. So, I have got all my paints mixed up. I am using Extreme Sheen in silver, pink tourmaline, aquamarine, and lavender frost. So all these colours are ones that I like. They work well together. So that is my plan. Now, these are 10 grams paint to 10 grams floetrol, which is Australian floetrol, except for the silver was really thick. So I added 1 gram less paint, but I still added 10 grams floetrol. So we'll see how. I'm going to double check them before I pour them, just to make sure that they're similar consistency. But that is the colours. Then for the black, I am using marte lamp black. And this is 85 grams paint, 170 grams floetrol, and then 50 grams water. So it's giving me a runny-ish mix, but it still holds a bit of body. So you don't want it too thin, otherwise your pearls come up really distorted and out of shape. But you don't want it too thick because then the pearls can't come up at all. So it's finding that balance. So for this size canvas, that is the measurements that I've got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it. I'm going to take this out of its wrapper. I'm going to put all my extras aside and we'll start pouring. So I just have to climb a ladder to reach my camera. So we will be back shortly. Okay, we are back. So what I have done is, once I unwrapped it, the canvas wasn't as taut as I wanted it to be. So I just sprayed water on the back and then I just rub it with my hand and it is made it a lot more taut. So that's what we really need. And I put my push pins in. Once you put your push pins in, just give it a tap on the opposite corners and just double check that it's level. It's pretty level. There's a tiny smidgen, but that should be fine. So now what we're going to do is I'm just going to give my paints a little bit more of a stir, just to make sure that they are well incorporated and haven't separated at all. Same with my colours. Just give them a stir in. Check the consistency. That pink is a little bit, so you just got to kind of judge it by each one by their thickness. They seem about even, the pink and the green. It's the silver that I'd be a little bit more concerned about. I think that's about right. If it isn't, I add a tiny little bit of floetrol. And when I mean tiny bit, I mean just like a really smidgen at a time. Yeah. So you need these to be thicker than the black. So now I just got to work out what order I want to put these in. I might do it like that. Or should I go that? I might go that way. The pink and the purple will end up being next to each other anyway because I'll do 2 layers. So now that I've stirred it, I'm going to pour half of this down in a pattern, kind of. So just pour it and just leave it close by because it'll probably end up dripping on there a little bit. Now I'm going to go to silver. Okay, this came out of the cup a lot thinner. The aquamarine. It felt fine when I was, Even that came out a little bit quicker. Oh well, doesn't matter. So the pink and the silver are thicker. And then we just scrape out what's left. You don't really want to waste this. So just remember, all my measurements are with Australian Floetrol and with Marte paint. If you're using different paints and different Floetrol, you will have to adjust. Australian Floetrol is thinner than American Floetrol and thinner than Oiltrol too. Let's scrape out the silver over to this side. But if you want to get pearls every time, follow the recipe that I've done, because now that I've worked it out, I get pearls every single time as long as I use certain brands. So Marte works, some brands don't work, so just keep that in mind. Now we'll go silver like this. Yeah, I can feel that coming out quicker. And last one. Oh, pardon me. So I just try to hold in a sneeze. So once I have the art room finished, I'll actually show you guys what it looks like. It's not a big room, but just a bit more of a better space for me to work in. Hopefully I can get better lighting and all that. It's going to be a work in progress, especially the lighting, because I don't know how well it's going to reflect or not for you guys. So I'm going to give my black another stir. And I'm going to just double check that it is recording. Yep. So I have to climb my little mini footstool. So I am going to pour my black through a strainer. I've found that I don't want clumps, and I don't think this black has got any clumps, but I don't want to risk it. So we will just make a spout. Worry about that pop stick actually getting in my way. I might actually take this pop stick out. I think it will cause some issues down the track. So don't pour it overly hard. Just pour it in through the strainer. I'm pouring it relatively low and not at a very fast speed. And the other advantage is this table's a little bit higher, so I'm not leaning over so much when I'm doing this, which is a great advantage. So as you can see, I'm just doing an even pour through the strainer. Alright, don't scrape your cup either with the black. Yep, no clumps in there, so I didn't have to strain it, but I would rather strain it than find out I have clumps later on. So I'm just going to put these down, hopefully out of the way. Gloves, where have I put gloves? That's the thing about moving into a new space, you get a little bit distracted about what you're doing. I started putting everything where I wanted it and then realised I don't have a big enough room. So any gloves will work. I just found nitrate because they were closest to me. So now I am just going to pour over edges. I'm going to go up to the top corner on this side, my right. So I'm just tilting. Once we get to the corner, we're going to have to go over. If you're going to pour excess off, do it on this first corner. So we're getting close, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker. There we go, pour a little bit extra off. Didn't get that corner. There we go. Fix it up while I'm here. This canvas is different to my other canvases. So I'm going to go back to the middle, and then I'm going to go up to this other top corner. Up and over, bring it back a little bit, and then I'm going to check that corner because, yeah, don't like this canvas as much. You're better off to do it straight away before any pearls come up. Oh, little brat. Oh, I don't have all my tongs with me. I don't know if I got him or if I just pushed him deeper into the canvas. A little bug flew into it. Now we're going to go down to this bottom corner. Bugs, my biggest pain here. Come on over that corner. Alright, now come back a bit. So I'm having to pour extra paint off because of this canvas as being a pain. So get your finger underneath, grab some of that paint and then just dab it and then let it run back down off. And now we've got our last corner to go. I should have enough paint, even though I've had to tip off excess, which I wasn't happy with. Alright, so tilting, tilting, tilting until I've gone over the edge. Okay, that's over the edge. Now I'm going back. Oh, this canvas is shocking. I'm just going to grab some extra paint and do these edges. Luckily, the edges actually don't matter. I forgot. It's a framed canvas, isn't it? So, I'm going to coat them in paint anyway. But they actually don't need to have a lot of paint on them because they'll be behind a frame. I'm glad I actually remembered that. But I'm still just going to run my finger under and just dab it on anywhere that has missed. Now I've got to pull this last corner back so the paint is in the center. There's not a lot of paint left on this canvas. It's moving very slowly. I'm going to stop there because I'm going to start distorting my pearls. Did I say stop or start distorting? I can't remember. Now I'm just going to run my finger underneath and grab these excess drips. We don't want those because they will pull the paint off your canvas. Alright, that side. So it's getting used to working on a new area too. Okay, so all four corners have paint on them, and I have run my finger underneath, which I will end up doing again with probably my palette knife in a few minutes. There's just no need for the excess paint, and you don't want it to destroy your image. Alright, I'm going to get my gloves off. Okay, so as you can see, I have pearls coming up. I can see what looks to be quite a bit of the aquamarine. So because that was the thinner one, that's definitely showing its mark. I can see silver over here. There's pink and tads of purple. Looks like the purple or the lavender is probably the one that's come up in least for the moment. I am going to get out my blowtorch, which feels a little bit low, but that's okay. You don't need to do a lot. I'm just double checking that my bubbles are gone. So just a quick run over. Awesome. And when you put that away, make sure that is not where it's going to touch anything or yourself or catch anything on fire, because it's super hot. So now the waiting game. So we can see pearls have come up. Now we just have to wait and let more develop. I got a feeling I'm going to have a bit of a lesser spot over here. I'm probably going to get more up and around that side more, and probably about here I'll have a little bit less. But it's all just waiting and seeing. I cannot see any bugs in there. I don't know why. I just started painting and the bug just arrived. That's what happens. So now we will pause it and we will be back in probably 10 minutes to check on it. We'll see. It might be 15, but between 10 and 15. So we'll be back soon. Alright, so this is how it's looking at the moment. Definitely more pearls have come up. Sorry, climbing back off the ladder. It's looking really good. So a lot more intense colours down from here all the way through to here, with a little bit less on that edge. They're there, but they're just not as intense. And that sometimes happens. It's kind of like they mix more with the black and get a little bit more dulled down in their tone. But it's hard to always tell how these are going to look until they're fully dry. But more pearls are going to come up. I'm pretty sure of it. If not, more will come up. The ones that are there will fill in the gaps more. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of a black area. But that there should actually decrease more. It really depends. Sometimes I find it can take 20 minutes and then they don't change anymore. When other times, even an hour later, they're still slightly growing. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing, but I'm really happy. So the sides are covered. So pearls are on the side. So if you don't have a framed canvas, you will actually see the pearls don't stay exactly in the circular shape when they're on the sides. They form a circle, but because of the weight, it pulls it down. So you end up getting like rainbow streaks down the edges, which is kind of a bit of a cool effect. But yeah, not like the top, but they're still quite interesting to see. I don't normally do pearl pours on deep canvases. You don't really know why you would need to have a deep canvas in a frame. Doesn't really make sense to me, but I didn't make it, I just brought it, so I'm interested to see how it looks and how it turns out. So things that are framed actually usually look quite cool, so I thought, why not? I like pearl pores and see how it goes once it's actually dry and put in a frame. But yeah, so in that time I went and cleaned up my cups and everything that I was using, especially the strainer. Clean that strainer straight away, otherwise once the paint dries in it, it's really hard to get back out. And yeah, so we're just going to come back maybe another 10 more minutes and see what has happened. But I think it's just going to fill in these areas a bit more. Some of these pearls might get a little bit more intense in their colour. And yeah, then we just have to wait for it to dry. So pausing again. Okay, now, so here's probably our final look before I end the video. So as you can see, it has crept into this dark space more. It's actually quite good. There's enough dark space to give it some like structure, but at the same point there's not too much that it actually is overwhelming. So it's taken me a while to get all my measurements right to the point where I get decent pearl pores every time, with enough black to give it the structure, but not too much that it overwhelms and just looks a little bit sparse. So definite quite a few pearls, as you can see, really enhanced through this 3/4 of it here, and a little bit more paler down the bottom. But again, that's the fun part. It gives you something to look at in all different aspects. We've got silver patches, we've got pink and purple, we've got blue with purple. So depending on how many colors you mix or you use, you will get different assortments. So also, see how I've got them going in these little trails? That's because I do that zigzag when I put the paint down. When I first started doing this, I used to just pour all my colors on top of each other, but I found I got definite kind of like sun rings, where I got like a yellow ring and then an orange ring, then each ring would kind of bleed out. When I find doing it this way, I get a really good assortment which kind of mixes the colors up a bit, and sometimes the pink and the purple mix to kind of make a different color, the blues and the purple mix to make different tones of blues and purples, and the silver kind of also goes through it and just adjusts the colors in different ways. So nothing really overly takes over, it just kind of has this cool pattern about it. But as you can see, my pearls are pretty decent shape. They do push into each other in some points and end up getting a little bit out of shape, but it's not bad because they're pushing into each other next to each other. And even these, they're not really badly out of shape, and they're not perfectly symmetrical either. Sometimes they all come out really circular and sometimes they don't. I don't 100% know why, because I actually use the same ratio for everything. But yeah, so this is it. It may close up a little bit more as it dries. But again, I think that I will have this black patch here and these little rays that come out a little bit. It won't fill in too much more. But there. So this is a 16 by 20 inch canvas with 10 grams paint, 10 grams floetrol for the extreme sheen colors, and I used 4. If I was to add more colors, I would still use the same amount of black. I don't really find I adjust it too much more than that. And the black is 85 grams paint, 170 grams floetrol, and 50 grams water. And that's it. Don't add anything else to it. And yeah, I think I'm quite happy with the result. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like it, share it, subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, just tell me what you guys think. So we will see you soon for another artwork. Now that I've got my art room half done, I'm going to keep adjusting it and try and do different bits and pieces. I've got more room to move. I've got a bigger table. So yeah, really pleased. Thanks everyone, have a wonderful night, and I will see you soon for another pour. Okay, bye. So here is the finished artwork in its frame. Hope you guys like it. It's completely dry now, so I've got it put it in its frame. So I'm trying to hold the camera where we can see properly. So yeah, I'm quite happy with how it worked out. So the frame actually does set it off quite well. And let's look down at these pearls. Really cool. I'm really pleased with this. So you've got really nice intense pearls, and then it fizzles out to kind of lighter ones towards the edges. So I can change if I add more pearl color. But overall, I'm quite happy. And the center is actually gotten quite small. Actually, I think I've got it spun the wrong way compared to how I had it. Let's put it the way that I painted it. Whoops. Just knocked something on the floor. That's how it was from your guys' angle. But as you can see, so the black's actually shrunk quite down well. So it's not overly black, but again, there's not too much. It's not completely taken over. But yeah, I'm really, really pleased. So let me know what you guys think. So comment, like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you soon. And I'll get some photos out in the sunlight. But yeah, I'll see you soon for another pour. Okay, bye.